Good evening, Hegarty students and families. I thought it would just be easiest if I just went over my PowerPoint. So the four main things I'm going to talk about is attendance, live meetings and lessons, Google Classroom, and then what you can expect for the first 2 weeks of school. Now, our attendance this year, as Mr. Howe said, will be factored on 3 different things. A student has to attend a live meeting, they have to submit work online, or they have to work on one of the online programs. There's a new component this fall that we didn't have in the spring, and that's that the teacher has, and the school has accountability to the state. And so what they're requiring of us is some lengthy paperwork. It's forms that have to be filled out for every single student. We are tracking all the online programs. Filling out paperwork is consuming. So the more the students are absent, the more paperwork we have to fill out. And unfortunately, if the teacher is filling out paperwork, that means that I get to spend less time with students, and I don't want to do that. We weren't required during the spring to fill out this paperwork, but I actually did keep track. I was teaching kindergarten, and I had spreadsheets where I kept track. And the biggest component of this is that we want the kids to we want to make sure that the kids are engaged. And so every day I would go through all the different learning programs. I would check off if the student had been on the Zoom that day. And then I would send like an email out to the parents and say, you know, I noticed that your student hasn't been on Lexia this week. It was just basically a check-in on the family, make sure they're okay. You know, do you have a device? Is your internet working? Is there anything that we can do for you? Live meetings and lessons. For the first 2 weeks, we will have a whole group family meeting. I'm not posting a time yet because I actually want to get family feedback to see what they feel is the best time. I know that there's a lot of different family dynamics. There may be 1 or 2 parents working in the household, and so not everybody can get on the live Zoom at the same time. Even if your student can't get on the time that's decided upon, it will be recorded and posted for them to watch. The first 2 weeks, though, I will also do one-on-one Zooms to build relationships. I don't know these students. I don't know your students, and I really want to get to know them. And so I will post slots for 20 minutes that you can sign up for next week. And I can get to know your student, they can get to know me, and I can also test them in reading. As we progress into weeks 3 and 4, then you're going to see more math and language arts lessons, either live or a link to a video that we've recorded. All live lessons will be posted if the students are unable to attend at the time. The student expectations for meetings will be discussed on Tuesday with the students. I plan on our very first Zoom, the students and I coming up with agreed upon lessons and agreed upon rules. I did want to mention that if students are being distracting to others on Zoom or a live video, that I will give them a warning. And then the second time, I'll ask them to turn off their video for 5 minutes. Now, students need to be fully dressed and not be eating per the student handbook, however. Google Classroom. Assignments will be on ParentSquare for the first week while I get my Google Classroom up and going and get feedback from the parents. I have a Google Classroom, but I'm still kind of working on it and revamping it so it's easier for the students to navigate. I taught kindergarten in the spring and we didn't have Google Classroom. We used a Seesaw platform. So I'm a little bit behind most of the other teachers who utilized it during the spring. When I get that done next week, I will send a link out through ParentSquare for them to join the Google Classroom. First 2 weeks of school. Once again, I will do the one-on-one Zoom meetings to learn about students and also to test for reading level. We'll have our daily family meetings. And then you'll notice that in the bag that was picked up today, there's lots of fun first of the year activities. There's an All About Me book. There's a science experiment called Save Fred, which is the cup with the gummy worm and the little lifesaver. There's some journal writing on their summer experiences. And then they will be required to log on to the 3 main programs, which is Lexia, MobyMax, and Eraz Kids. And they'll be sent the links for that. So the first week or two is mainly about getting to know the student, getting to know their personalities, what they like, maybe challenges that they need to work on, setting expectations, routines. Not a lot of